The night I lost everything started like any other. I left work early, feeling lighter than I had in weeks. It had been a grueling month, overtime, late meetings, barely any time to breathe. But things were finally slowing down, and I wanted to make it up to my wife, Jessica. I picked up her favorite flowers, white lilies, and a bottle of wine, picturing the look on her face when I walked through the door with an apology wrapped in petals and expensive Cabernet. The house was quiet when I pulled into the driveway. Too quiet. Jessica's car was in the garage, but there were no lights on inside. No TV murmuring in the background. No music playing from the kitchen, where she usually spent her evenings experimenting with new recipes. I felt a flicker of unease but shook it off. Maybe she was napping. I stepped inside, balancing the flowers and wine in one hand while kicking the door shut behind me. "Jess," I called out. No answer. Then I heard it, a man's voice. My heart stalled mid-beat. It was low, casual, too familiar. Then Jessica's voice, soft and laughing, followed by the clinking of glasses. I walked toward the kitchen, my pulse pounding harder with every step. And that's when I saw him. A man sat at our kitchen table, a beer in front of him, leaning back like he belonged there. He wasn't a plumber or an electrician, not someone you'd call to fix a broken appliance. He wore a fitted polo, his arms tanned, his hair a little too perfectly styled. He wasn't here to fix anything. Jessica turned when she saw me, her face flickering between surprise and something else, something darker. Guilt. "Oh, Rob," she said, her voice too bright, too rehearsed. "You're home early." The man, her lover, because I knew that's what he was, glanced at me and gave a nod, completely at ease. I stared at him, my fingers tightening around the flowers. "Who the hell is this?" Jessica's smile didn't reach her eyes. "This is Daniel. I called him to fix the dishwasher." I didn't respond. I just let the silence stretch between us, my eyes moving over the room, scanning for the cracks in her lie. The dishwasher was closed. No tools. No instruction manual. Nothing that suggested it had been worked on. Daniel took a sip of his beer like this was some casual Friday night hangout. "Nice place you've got," he said. I dropped the flowers onto the counter, my hands curling into fists. "How exactly are you fixing the dishwasher?" Jessica's smile twitched. It was making a weird noise. He just finished checking it out. I turned to Daniel. What was wrong with it? A flicker of hesitation crossed his face. Just for a second. Then he leaned back, all confidence. "Motor issue. Probably needs replacing." I stepped forward, closing the distance between us. "Probably." He shrugged. Jessica moved beside me, her hand on my arm, her fingers cold. "Rob, stop. You're making this weird." I wrenched my arm away from her touch. "Weird? You invited some guy over while I was at work and now you're gaslighting me in my own house." Jessica's face hardened. "Jesus, you're overreacting." I let out a sharp laugh, but there was no humor in it. My chest felt tight, my skin burning. I knew. I didn't need to see it. I didn't need a confession. I knew. My eyes landed on the table. 2 wine glasses. Not beer. Wine. She was drinking with him. Celebrating something. Something inside me snapped. With one swift motion, I grabbed one of the glasses and threw it across the room. It shattered against the wall, red liquid dripping like blood down the white paint. Jessica screamed. "Are you insane?" Daniel shot up from his seat. "Hey, man." I turned on him so fast he flinched. "Get out." My voice was low, steady, deadly. His confidence wavered. "Jessica." I grabbed a plate from the counter and smashed it against the floor. The sound echoed through the house like a gunshot. "Get out." Jessica clutched at her chest, breathing hard. "Stop it, Rob. Just stop." Daniel hesitated for a second longer before muttering something under his breath and heading toward the door. The second he was gone, Jessica rounded on me. "What the hell is wrong with you?" she hissed. I let out a slow, shuddering breath, forcing myself to stay in control. "How long?" She crossed her arms, defiant. "There's nothing going on." I stepped closer, staring her down. "How long?" Her chin lifted. "You're being ridiculous." I laughed. A hollow, bitter sound. "You want to play it that way? Fine." I turned and stormed out, my mind already forming a plan. If she wanted to lie, I was going to make sure she paid for it. I didn't sleep that night. I went through everything: bank statements, text messages, phone records. She had been careful, but not careful enough. A few charges stood out. Hotel stays. Dinners at places we'd never been to together. I found receipts crumpled at the bottom of her purse while she slept upstairs. By morning, I had everything I needed. I didn't confront her again. I didn't yell. I didn't smash any more plates. I went straight to my lawyer. I want a divorce, I said, my voice like steel. He glanced up, brow raised. That bad? I slid the evidence across the desk. He let out a low whistle. Yeah, you're going to want to hit first before she does. I don't just want to leave her, I said. I want to destroy her. The next few days, I played the role of the quiet, grieving husband. I let Jessica think I was cooling down, that I was retreating into myself. She started acting normal again, as if nothing had happened. As if I was the one who had lost my mind, not the one who had been betrayed. She had no idea I was about to turn her world upside down. I waited for the right moment. And then, I made my move. I sent everything to her job. Screenshots of messages. Hotel receipts. The truth of who she was behind closed doors. I made sure her boss saw it first. The fallout was instant. Jessica came home that evening, her face pale, her hands shaking. What did you do? I leaned against the counter, sipping a beer. Something wrong at work? She slammed her purse down. You sent those pictures. Those goddamn messages. They fired me. Rob? I lost everything. I tilted my head. Good. Tears filled her eyes. Why? Why would you do this to me? I set my beer down and walked up to her, looking her dead in the eyes. Because you destroyed us. So I destroyed you. She let out a choked sob, backing away. For the first time, she was the one who looked afraid. Jessica was broken. She stood in the kitchen, the same place where she had betrayed me, clutching the counter as if it were the only thing keeping her upright. Her breathing was uneven, her eyes wide, red-rimmed. You ruined my life, she whispered. I smiled. No, Jessica. You ruined your own life. I just made sure everyone saw it. Her shoulders shook. I lost my job. My friends won't talk to me. My parents are ashamed of me. You took everything. I tilted my head. Now you know how it feels.